Hi guys, welcome to my new video. Today is the 31st of December and that's when we celebrate Christmas in Russia. Well, I will be mixing these terms, Christmas and New Year's, because for us it's kind of the same, but I will explain you why later in this video. I will also tell you about how I spend this New Year holidays, about my favorite games and food that we will be eating. Let's go. And now I will show you the house we rented. It's located here in the mountains. I cannot say exactly what village this is, but it is somewhere close to Buknari, a railway station and a village on the Black Sea. I really like this nature. It looks so alien to me. For example, what is this? It is some unusual plant and fruit. Tangerines just laying on the ground. You can actually I think I will take it, yes. There are some more tangerines and there is one next to our house, which is so amazing. I never thought that I would celebrate the New Year's in such a climate, and actually it is my third Christmas or New Year's in Georgia. Yes, that's so crazy, time flies. It became a tradition for me to make a New Year video. I've been doing that since 2019 in Russia. Now I'm in Georgia. It is another country, a different climate. So let's see if I manage to recreate the Russian New Year atmosphere in this video. And also we'll see how my hometown celebrated this year and what changed in Russia recently. And yeah, so we spent 1 week in Batumi and rented this house for 2 nights. We watched a movie yesterday, played games, and today we're going to cook Christmas, or rather Russian New Year dishes. Why New Year and Christmas are the same for me? It's because in the Soviet Union they created artificial Christmas on the 31st of December with a communist red star on the fir tree. We do have a Christian Orthodox Christmas on the 7th of January, but it is a niche holiday celebrated by religious families. And the main day for us is the last day of the year. I hope that I chose a right path, because actually, you see, there are 2 roads. Yes, I remember that this one leads to that gray house, and I need this one. Wow, look how many tangerines there are. I can just collect them on my way, and this one doesn't look clean. Okay, there's some mountain creek. Even there's a tangerine. Oh my god. How? Ah yeah, because there is a tree just over it. This fruit is an essential part of the New Year's celebration. Even though now you can buy it throughout the year, it's been a tradition since the Soviet times to eat a lot of mandarins, especially during the New Year holidays. And now I will share with you how I was spending these festive days with my friends. On this Christmas vacation, we are playing board games a lot, and now I want to talk about this because I never thought that I would be so amazed by board games. The first one, Monopoly. And it's not the classic one, but card Monopoly. It's called Monopoly Deal. It is a short version of the game. The principle is the same. You also collect properties, you have currency. I cannot say that I was winning all the time, rather the opposite, but I still enjoy it so much. Another game is Uno. Did you know that there's also Uno Flip and Uno Wild that has only special cards? Like the normal card is the card with the different colors, and we didn't like it. But the one we play is actually with Harry Potter characters. Another game I love a lot is Ekivoki. So the point of the game is that you roll the dice and choose the task according to the number that you got. The number 6 gives you the most unique card. So there is a typical task like Alias, where you have to explain one word using other words. Also, there is a task where you have to explain a word by making it out of a clay, or you have to draw something, or for example, some famous person and others have to guess it. I drew Alexander Lukashenko, the Belarusian president. I drew his portrait and potatoes, and you know there is a meme. For some reason, Belarus is associated with potatoes. And another person, Freddie Mercury. They still didn't get it. Then I added a microphone and flag of the UK, and that's how on the last moment they guessed it. So basically it is a combination of different games, and if you have the opportunity, I recommend you to play Ekivoki with your Russian friends. That's how I just fell in love with board games. It is so fun. I also like a game that I play on my phone. It's called Erudit, Scrabble in English. And I play this game in Russian with a bot. Unfortunately, I could not find an app where I can play with a real person. So it's not a real Scrabble, you know, because here this bot gives me the word just in a second. So it's different from the usual Scrabble game, but I still love it. I like that whenever I play, I have different combination of words, and also the fact that the more rare letters give you more points. For example, the Russian letters she, she, tse, and u give you 10 points, while a or E give you just 1. That's why I try to create some words that use that particular letters. I'm addicted to this game. I play it on my phone for hours, but I love it so much. Yes, it gives me so much joy. I think it's fine. Like the same way as I do have an obsession with coffee. Why not? I mean, it's not drugs, right? We also watch Christmas movies, of course. Once we watched A Night Before Christmas, based on a novel by Nikolai Gogol, and there was a devil, a witch, and you know, some supernatural activities. It is a very funny movie. Even though I'm not well acquainted with Soviet movies, I remember this one well because I watched it as a kid. The next day we watched another Soviet movie, Ivan Vasilievich, Back to the Future. It is about a Soviet enthusiastic scientist who created a time machine, and his colleague went to the past, becoming Ivan the Terrible, Russian Tsar, and Ivan the Terrible came to the present. I mean, to the 70s. And I never watched the full movie. That's why only yesterday I understood how much my cultural code is connected to these Soviet movies, because a lot of phrases that I used to hear for all my life come from the Soviet movies. There's one phrase, "Why are you staring at me? There are no ornaments on me," and I was shocked because it is what my math teacher used to say when some student looked at her for a long time or something. I thought that it is her neologism, or maybe she heard it somewhere, but no, it actually comes from this movie. And I counted like 10 phrases that I knew and that were invented. Then I packed gifts for my friends, and I didn't have tape, so instead I used a linen rope, and I had nothing to cut it with. That's why I took a knife from the kitchen. And you'll ask me why we had this rope anyway. Well, that's for something fun that you will see later in this video. Anyway, I managed to wrap the presents, and they look so cute. We have a boiled chicken for Caesar salad, and this is a whole pot of olivier. It is a staple dish for the Russian New Year table. The last time I celebrated the New Year's in Russia was in the end of 2021, the year before the war beginning, and that time I visited a fun celebration on our town square. This is how it looks in Spassk every year, but This time there are some changes. If before they used to make ice sculptures with different animals, symbols of the year, this time, in addition to that, they added an installation devoted to the Great Patriotic War victory anniversary, and they even made a cannon out of ice. And what is more, the Christmas tree this year is decorated in the Russian flag colors. Another difference is that they implemented patriotic songs. When I was there was a cute song about joy and happiness. But this time they sang an anthem for the people. It is a song called My Motherland, and there is a line that says, "For me, it's holy Russia, but for others, it's a thorn in the side." This line plays on the propaganda myth that the whole world is against us and everyone wants to destroy our country. And another thing that demonstrates how different Russia was just 10 years ago is this 2010 comedy Yolki that I watched with my friends on the New Year's Eve. In the movie there were actors and singers who are cancelled now, cancelled by the Russian government because they spoke against the war. For example, this actor Artur Smolyaninov. Also there was a song by Alla Pugacheva. She is a legendary Russian singer who was cancelled by the government because she left the country, and they are bashing her now on the TV channels for betraying the motherland. Anyway, 2025 is approaching, we already set the table, and these are our dishes. Chicken, tomatoes, Caesar salad, and the traditional olivier. Then we had funny contest, and this is what I needed rope for. So the goal is to catch the sausage with your mouth. Yes, it's me, trying really hard, but nevertheless nobody managed to win. Another important thing on the 31st of December is watching TV, and, well, some people watch Russian President Vladimir Putin giving his speech, and this year was the first time when I didn't watch Putin, although I asked my friends whether we want to listen to the president. That's what they answered.
А мы Путина будем смотреть?
Нет.
А чё?
Это неприятно.
Finally, the clock struck 12, we made wishes and ran to the windows to contemplate the firework. Because we were far away from the city, we only could see these small twinkling dots that in fact are big fireworks. So this is how we greeted the new year, and according to a Russian saying, how you meet the year is how you will spend it. So this is the end of my video. I'm already back in Tbilisi. And I really enjoyed making this video because New Year is a very important holiday for me, and I make videos about it every year, and I think that this time I managed to recreate the atmosphere, and it is actually my second New Year video, but I wanted to make it anyway because I filmed it especially on the 31st of December. I wish you all the best in 2025. Subscribe to my channel, like this video and write your comment. Goodbye, пока-пока.